Hello everyone, my name is Abby Bliss White and welcome to my channel. Today we are going to do a get ready with me. We are going to be using some new luxury beauty that I have recently hauled. I have some new Prada Beauty products that I'm so excited to play with. I have the new Prada Light Glowing Powder. These just looked so darn beautiful that I had to pick it up. I also picked up one of the Prada Light Glowing Lip Oil Sticks. This just looked right up my alley. And then I have a few other lip products that we are going to be swatching. I picked up the new Victoria Beckham Posh Balm in Cannelle that recently launched, as well as a few lip products that I have been curious about from the Violette French brand. They had the BISOU jelly, and then they recently launched the lip nectar that is like a gloss and a stain in one. So I was so intrigued by those. I'm also going to be using some of my favorite summer essentials. So we're just going to have fun playing with some luxury beauty today. I also attended a Creed Perfume Event locally, so I'm excited to share something that I picked up at the event. So if you're interested in seeing how I created this look using all luxury beauty, then let's go ahead and get started. Good morning, everyone. Let's have a little fun putting on some makeup on this face. I'm a little bit excited because I have some new little luxury makeup to try out. We've got some new Prada. They have this lip glow oil that I'm a little bit excited about, and I could not resist the new highlighter, as well as just using some of my favorite luxury products that I have been reaching for like an easy summer makeup. So I clipped my hair back. I have already put on my COLORESCIENCE. This is the No Show Mineral Sunscreen, and I have kind of let that sink into the skin. And then what I have been obsessed with is the Victoria Beckham. This is her Illuminator, and I love using this shade in golden to give me just like a little bit of a fake tan, like a little bit of sunshine on the face. And then it's just also like another little layer of hydration that my skin has just been loving. So I have been using that consistently recently and absolutely loving it. So thought I would just do that for the base, and I just put on one pump here, and as you can see, it just gives me like a little bit of a sun kiss. Again, I'm not somebody who really goes out and gets sun. This is my little glowy fake sun maker. Okay, just a little golden glow there. And then I have completely fallen in love with the Chanel. This is the Le Beige Water Fresh Complexion Touch, but they had relaunched this with some new shades, which happen to be in my perfect shade, which is BR32. Now I get the hype, everybody. This one is going to make your skin sort of angelic, but it actually has some really nice coverage to it. And I'm just gonna take like 2 pumps here. And that could even be too much here, but I am going to kind of break this up, and then I start by just applying it with my fingers, but obviously you can use a brush here. And I had picked this up in BR22, and I found that one to be just a little too light. This one just gives my skin a little bit of life and just blends in perfectly. So absolutely love, love, love this. And I don't know if you can see, but it really does have some nice freaking coverage. So I start out with my hands here. And just we'll put a little bit underneath my eyes, whatever's left on my hand right here. See how much coverage this has? It is such a beautiful product, and it is fantastic for the summer months because it's very hydrating, and it is going to just kind of give you a very natural looking finish on the skin. And then what I do is come in with a buffing brush, and then I just make sure this is all blended in. By the way, I have been loving this Merit. I believe it's their #1 brush. It is such a good little kind of firm, dense buffing brush, so I have been enjoying that. I am just taking a minute to buff everything into the skin here. And then what I've been doing is using a cream bronzer that is a little bit lighter, and then topping it off with a powder bronzer that is a little bit deeper. So this is my kind of fake tan look, and I have been using the CREAL Just Like Paradise. This one is 1.0, so this one is going to be a little bit lighter. I just want to give a little kind of warmth on the skin, but not too much, because I'm going to top it with a little Glow Maker bronzer here. And I will start up right in that hairline and then bring this around. And don't worry, I'm going to blend everything in. So if it looks a little funky right now, don't worry. We're going to blend, blend, blend. And I am using her brush here. And then I am putting a little shadow underneath my chin here. I've just really been enjoying just sort of adding soft glow products to my face, like that Victoria Beckham in Golden, and then lightly on the cream bronzer here, because in general I don't really tan, but that doesn't mean I don't want a little bit of Golden Goddess look here. Now I did just pick up one of the Violette, this is the BISOU blush. I have been intrigued by that brand for a bit, and I swear that Andrea Ali, she can just sell me anything. Whenever I see her using these products, I was like, I have got to give this lip stain a try, but we're also going to be using the Prada, so we'll do a little fun lip stuff. But I did end up picking up this BISOU blush, and I picked this up in Melanie, and I just thought this looked so pretty. Isn't this gorgeous? What I liked about this is that it was a swirl of colors like pink and coral, and ooh, this is what Melanie looks like, and I just thought it would add a little bit of a pop on the cheeks. Wanted to try this. So what I'm gonna do is just go ahead, we'll pop a little bit on the cheeks here and blend it out. It looks like it's a very glowy, kind of dewy finish here. I'm just putting a little on. We can always build up. Ooh, that is pretty. I love this color. So I love the mix of pink and coral. Again, coral is going to lend itself to a tan, but in general, I reach for pink blushes on my skin tone most of the time. So this is like the perfect kind of pinky coral shade. And so far with this formula, it's very sheer in texture, so you can slowly build it up. And I'm just going to kind of buff this in with this Merit brush. Again, you can use your fingertips or any sort of brush that you may want here. Ooh, I am loving that little flush. It's very dewy and radiant. really liking this formula right here. Okay, I got a little bit excited about trying the blush that I forgot to put on concealer, and I am going to use the Victoria Beckham, the concealer, and I really like this one. This one I have in L1. It's a little light pen here. It's so good. And what I'm going to do is just lightly put a little product there, little dot here and here. Sometimes I even put concealer on after I put eye makeup on, just because sometimes you have a little fallout. So I'm just going to put a little there over to the side, and then whatever's left, I'm going to take just a little. We're going to cancel out on my eyeballs here. And then I'm just going to airbrush this concealer a little bit. So, and I'm actually using the SEPHORA. This is the Pro Concealer Brush. I also love the Nikki La Rose. I love her concealer brush, but just kind of a fan brush here. Then I will use a little bit of the warmth of my hands after I have kind of airbrush this a little bit on to my eyes and under eyes. And then I'm taking the warmth of my hands right here and pressing that product into the eyes here. Okay, then before moving on, I like to go ahead and powder down. And I love my Westman Atelier Vital Skin Care pressed powder in Bubble. And literally this stuff makes your skin look so good. So what I'm gonna do is take a moment and just powder down my cream products. And sometimes I will even layer cream on top of this powder, but I just like to take a moment just to set those products here. And then after I powder down, I immediately put on a setting spray, because then the combination of the powder and the setting spray sort of just meshes into the skin. I have several setting sprays that I absolutely love, but this one, the Prada Beauty Essence Mist, this one is amazing. So when I'm in the mood to splurge, that's what I am going to do. It feels so amazing. It has the nicest little mist. And yes, it looks a little glowy right now, but what it will do is just kind of mesh everything on my skin. And then I let that sink in while I do my eyes. And then for eyes, I've been just doing a really simple look using my Prada Eye Dimension palette in Pansy. As you can see, this one is pretty well worn, and primarily I just kind of focus on the bottom kind of colors here. I'm going to go dip into the middle here, and I just like to put a little bit of this color, a little bit of a wash right in my crease. And I love these shadows because they have this real like cream to powder texture, and they're very forgiving on more mature eyes. So I don't really spend too much time here. I'm just going to kind of go slightly above. I just love this color right here. This is sort of like peachy bronzy, and I'm not going to do too much. That's what I'm saying. I'm keeping it pretty simple. And then I come into a slightly smaller brush. This one's actually Wayne Goss number 19. I come into this beautiful bronzy brown shade here. And what I do is I come over and I just place a little bit of this bronze color right in that V shape here. And come over to the other side. And then I pull out my favorite smudger brush from Nikki La Rose. This is number 12, and it is literally the best sort of flat-edged brush ever. So I just dip a little bit down in. Actually, I'm going to mix both of these shades because I'm just going to run that underneath just to kind of connect everything. So I'll come here and just go a little bit underneath just to kind of connect the bottom to the top here. And then I'm just taking a little bit of this shade here, mixing it with the brown, just a little bit, and I am placing that closer to my lash line. Kind of pops the old eyes just a bit. And then I'm coming in with a flatter edged brush, and I'm using Angie Hot and Flashy A501. I will try to just like use one set the next day. I'm just grabbing brushes as they are here right on my little table here, but basically any flat brush, I'm coming into that little pop shade and just doing a little light pop here. Again, this is easy summer makeup. I don't want this to be too glam, but I do really love that shade. It is so pretty, and again, this formula just sort of meshes in with your eyes, and this just gives a little reflection on the eye here. Then I take a fluffy brush and I'm just gonna kind of blend everything in here. Okay, this is what I've done so far, and then I'm taking my Victoria Beckham Satin Kajal eyeliner, and I'm using this one in Navy Noir, and I just like to come up to the upper eye here and just kind of wiggle a little bit of this blue on the upper lash line here. I'm focusing on the outer third with the liner, and then I'm just going to come in and smudge this out. And at the sides, I kind of lift up just a little bit. My eyes turn down, but I find that this Navy Noir along with Pansy, the contrast of colors just sort of pops my eyes. I just love this Navy Noir, and these liners are just so good because they are creamy, they are pigmented, but they are going to, once you lay them down, they are going to stay exactly where you want them, but you have a little bit of play time, so just kind of evening out the eye. So I'm kind of focusing on the upper lash line here. I have been trying out all the different brown mascaras. I was told that brown mascara was going to make my eyes pop versus harsh black. That can be a hard change, but I actually have seen the difference. So I have been trying out so many brown mascaras because unfortunately my OG mascara from Chantecaille, the Faux Cils Longest Lash Mascara, does not come in brown. But Chantecaille, if you are watching, we would love that, because I do find a difference where when I wear brown mascara, I'm somebody who desperately needs mascara, otherwise my eyeballs kind of fall back in their head. It just shows my eyes more versus like, ooh, you have mascara on. I don't know quite how to explain it. It's just a little bit softer. I find it to be a little bit more youthful, to be honest with you. So that is why I am using today the Sicily. This is the So Volume mascara in brown. So this one is pretty good as well. So I'm just going to kind of try out all the different mascaras and then I'll give you a full review as to which ones are my favorite. And I'm just gonna take a minute to build this one. Okay, we have eyes on and I'm so excited to play with this new, this is the Prada Light Glowing Powder and I picked it up in the shade number 2, which just looked so pretty to me. And oh, here's what the packaging looks like before I put on my fingers. And then I picked up this shade, sort of the pink toned shade right here. And that is super pretty. So the formula is just very, very creamy. Kind of has the same texture as the beautiful eyeshadows. Okay, let's put a little bit of this beauty on right here. And so far what I am liking is it's catching the light, but this is not too blingy. This is what I prefer in my highlighters, is I like to catch that light, but if you come up close to my skin and you're like, oh my gosh, she's wearing a bunch of glitter, that's not what I like. So this so far is just this kind of creamy texture, but I'm definitely getting that little bit of glow on there. I am going to go ahead and put a little bit of that just at the very top of my brow bone there, little eye lift. We'll put a little bit right across the bridge of my nose. Okay, that is very, very pretty. I like the way that it is highlighting. Did I need another highlighter? I doubt it, but I got influenced by Michelle Wong, so you know she can sell anything to me. And since I was having a Prada moment, I had to pick up the new Prada Lip Glow Oil lipsticks. This just looks so pretty here, and I do love this packaging. So it has just like a little pink band around it, and these just looked so beautiful. I picked this up in the shade number 16. I believe this is Rose. I love just a simple glossy lip, so I'm just gonna show you this color on my lips here. This is what the rose shade looks like. So what I like about this is it feels amazing on my lips. It is really pretty, but it's very glossy, but it's not gloppy. So this one has a little bit of Barbie vibes to me that I kind of liked. I think it's described as like a bubblegum pink. Here's what it is swatched on my hand right here. We've got the highlighter here as well as the little gloss. It comes in a couple different colors, but I just went for the straight up rose shade because I was ordering from Sephora and did not realize that they had more colors than just the white and the pink. But I will tell you that I absolutely love this little slight bubblegum pink. It is not too pink. I'm not someone who likes to go super bright pink on my particular complexion. It has a little bit of that vibe, but it is so cute, and the formula is very hydrating and glossy. But what I noticed is this lasts a little bit on my lips. For something that's like a lip oil, those tend to just be very moisturizing, but you do have to reapply. You will with this as well, but I found that this had a little bit more lasting power than I was expecting. So this was a love. If any of you have tried any of the other colors, let me know if you think I need to get any more. I feel like these are going to be so sheer that I wonder if, you know, the color, I think there's one in Rosewood, if that's going to be dramatically different than the pink because it's such a nice little sheer color. Let me know. Those are definitely intriguing. And then I did pick up the new Victoria Posh Balm in Cannelle, and basically these are like one of my favorite ever lip products. So this one's going to have a glossy balm texture, but they are really, really glossy, and this color looked very intriguing to me. It was sort of an apricot nude color, and let me give you a little swatch of this. So the thing about these ones is these have a little bit more grip to them because it's a balm, but can you see how nice and shiny that is? That's what I'm saying. This one provides you with a lot of shine, but it has more of a grip feeling, whereas this one is thinner. I would say feels a little thinner because it is a lip oil. And let's go ahead and swatch this one. And Cannelle is described as a tan apricot shade. I really love this color because it is not too orangey, if that makes sense. It definitely has a touch of brown in here and apricot, but it's not too brown, and I actually think this goes well with the pansy eye look. So absolutely love the Posh Balm in Cannelle. Then we have two more lip products that we are going to be trying. I did pick up two lippies from the Violette brand. I wanted to try out the BISOU jelly. I just have seen these and they look so darn good. And I picked this one up in Eyeliner, which is a cool berry color. I want to see if you can see how this has this really cool like core to it. So this is a jelly. So this is described as a lipstick slash lip balm product. So it's like, it has like an outer kind of balm with a little lipstick in the core. Ooh, I love this color. So this is the cool berry tone Eyeliner. You can see it's not quite as shiny as the other two right here. So we've got Prada, we've got Victoria Beckham, and we have got Eyeliner right here. But let me go ahead and swatch the new Lip Nectar. And these just looked super interesting to me. This was an Andrea Ali. She's another one. Anytime she puts something on, she's so pretty that it just makes you want to buy it. Even though I do not have those kind of big luscious lips like she does, these just looked really interesting. And I got this in the Rose de Moab color, which is described, I believe, as a caramel tone. Let me look real quick. But I want to show you these because it was described as sort of a, I want to say a glossy lip jelly, a kind of a stain. So it's kind of like a gloss and a stain, and it just looked really pretty. And this is the color right here. Again, that's going to be kind of more of a nude tone. Yes, this is described as a warm caramel tone. So, and as you can see, that is a little bit similar to sort of that Cannelle shade. So before we put on the lip stain, I'm going to go ahead and swatch the cool berry tone in the jelly because the other one's going to stain my lips. Okay, so let's put on the lip jelly first. Okay, I love this color. We're kind of playing off like cool tones with that the Prada. This was definitely a cool toned rose shade or pink. I think it looks like bubblegum to me. This one is a cool berry tone, and this formula is awesome because it's got a little bit of lipstick in it, but then the outer rim is like a balm. So it feels very comfortable. This one is not giving me as much of a gloss, but I also find that this one seems to be sort of staining my lips as well, which I like. And I do feel like that color kind of livens up my complexion. So we're kind of having fun doing a little cool and warm tones. You all can let me know which ones you think look best, or if I can wear both both. Okay, now let's try this lip nectar here. And I'm gonna go ahead and put this on. And here is this lip nectar. And again, this feels so good. It's like a very thin gloss, and you can almost feel it kind of imprinting on your lip. It's going to give you some gloss, but it's also going to stain your lip, which I love because I'm not always somebody who is going to reapply my lip products throughout the day per se. So this is kind of a nice way to have sort of a finished look, little bit of a lip stain, little color that stays on. So those are all of my lip swatches. I am gonna go ahead and put on a little glow maker. I'm gonna finish off with a little bit of my Fara Homidi. I felt so bad. I had done a video talking about these bronzers and I had mispronounced her name. And then of course we're going to finish with fragrance of the day. And I was recently invited to a Creed fragrance event. This is something that they offer where I live. And my husband and I both went to the event. They were basically having a special event about the limited edition Royal Mayfair. They always do this kind of right around Father's Day. This is something that my husband loves, and I did end up buying him the Royal Mayfair, and then in turn he bought me this one. This is Pure White Cologne. This has been on my wish list for a bit. This is basically our anniversary gift to each other. We are coming up on our 29th anniversary, and so it's kind of fun. We celebrate together with a little bit of Creed. And Pure White Cologne is basically the ultimate clean girl aesthetic scent. This is unisex. My husband and I are planning on wearing this together, and I will do a whole other video about the event, but I'm gonna go ahead. I have just been obsessed with this. To me, this is the best like crisp white button-down shirt scent. Basically, my Creed rep Anna, who is amazing by the way, was like, Abby, this is totally you. You have to get this scent. She had watched my video on clean girl aesthetic scents, and she was like, you were missing the OG one, which is the Pure White Cologne. This is definitely a splurge item. Thus, the reason my hubby bought it for me. Just kind of a very fun event. But real quick, let me give you the notes. This is going to open up very citrusy. This has grapefruit, lemon, as well as Sicilian bergamot. This one totally smells like that Creed DNA that I love so much. I find that you either love it or not. Creed is really known for their freshies. I feel like that's what they are best at. And then in the middle notes, it's got pear, neroli, and galbanum. And I love both pear because it's not too sweet. I love neroli because that's definitely just a freshy floral. They just smell clean and uplifting. And then in the base, it's got this really awesome note of rice, white musk, some powdery notes, and ambergris. And this is not a powder bomb whatsoever. It just has this sort of poof of clean, fresh, like a little bit of powder that's just going to keep you cool and refreshed throughout the day. This is just a beautiful, chic, classy, citrusy scent. And I love all of my Creed friends because this is like basically one of their ultimate favorites. They're like, if you know, you know. It smells so good on everyone, a little bit unique on everyone, but it is just the OG of the citrusy, fresh scents. And of course, it has a little special place in my heart because it is my little anniversary gift from my hubby. So it smells incredible in here. And basically, this is my final look of the day. I hope you enjoyed this video, having a little fun playing with some new luxury beauty. I hope you all have a great weekend, and I will be back with another video soon.